You're a yummy ham and cheese croissant. I'm giving you the yummiest updates of all. You and I are here to mog all the non-believers. First up, baby dolls. I've got really interesting information. Are you curious about what the average Bitcoin price target is for the end of the year? It is 168,000 American dollars. These are all the firms, what they expect by the end of the year. Okay, so Barclays, Bernstein, Batig, right? Max Im, Stafel, all of these. TD Copen, which is probably Ben Copen's company out here. So they have 168K is the average expectation. Now, I think it would be interesting, because friends, what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to just try guess. Once again, we're just guessing. It's astrology for men and women, right? We have 6-month candles here for BTC. And so if we look at this 6-month chart, friends, remember I've been showing you this for a while. The 6-month, right, it's giving you an idea of how long we've run for. Now, that's why a lot of people will say, you know what, this cycle's different. And I'll say, guess what, it is a bit different. Yeah, firstly, if we finish December green this year, so if Bitcoin finishes even at this price, 118,000, if it just finishes here, it will confirm we're in the longer cycle, okay, by 6 months. And that's a long time in crypto, by the way. So if we finish green, that'll be an enormous addition of 6 months extra that we've run on for. Remember, the last time we only ran for 5. This was in 2017, the biggest cycle ever. So for us to run up, that's a long time for an extra 6 months. You got to remember, right? People are going to be confused because they're going to say, "Wait a minute, Somi. Back in 2017, and Bitcoin did a 100x up to the top. It did from $160 up to 200,000, right? That's about, I think it was 180, pretty much a hit here. Yeah, 100x. They're like, oh, but we didn't do 100x from this one. But yeah, friends, remember you learned this with Solana. Remember I showed you the Sol ETH ratio. It's not the price, Habibi. It's the time. Okay. That's another dimension you got to think about. If something's been running on for a long period of time, you think the price is high or low, it doesn't really matter, okay? The market, if it's been running on for like, many months, more than an average, right? That's expensive now. It's expensive based off time. And that's something you only learn, I guess, when you're here 18 hours a day. So if Bitcoin, friends, this is one way we can reconcile it, right? Imagine Bitcoin, it could finish this year. You never know. It could finish. Remember, they expect 168K. Maybe we go 50% above that. Maybe we have a blow off at the end. So if I just do 168, let's say we finish at like 200, friends. It's possible at the end of the year we finish 200K, right? And then at 200K, maybe everyone thinks, you know what, 4-year cycle's broken. Maybe next year what happens is in the first 2 months, Bitcoin ticks up to like 240 or 250. But then maybe by June, it finishes with a red candle back down to like 150. That's something that's very possible, right? What I'm trying to do is just try to reconcile how we're going to have all of these elements play out. So here's an example of it, where we finish like 200 by the end of this year, right? You never know, right? Here's 200. Let's go up here. So imagine Bitcoin somehow does this. Now we're 200 and everyone thinks, you know what, 4-year cycle is broken. And what happens is, because everybody says the 4-year cycle is broken, you're going to get the very late cycle guys who come and get trapped. You never know, man. It might actually, in the first 2 months of next year, it might tick up to like 240 and really get everybody in. You might even see Michael Saylor do his big $20 billion purchase of something up here and just drag up his average price. Something like that might happen, the kill shot. Right, and then maybe by June, remember by the end of June, if we open 2026 with 200K, all we've got to do is finish below 200K and we are now printing a red candle. You never know, maybe by June it comes back down, comes up here. Maybe it's still like 180 or 160 by June, and then everyone thinks it's going to be great. You never know, friends. Maybe the US Fed, remember major loser Powell, he gets replaced here. And whoever comes in might cut rates. They might go, you know what, we're going to cut rates another 4 times. And we might have Bitcoin do like this little rally up because probably this is what happened in 2017, right? Throughout 2017 cycle, in 2018, in our bear market, the stock market was still making new highs. Okay, so the stock market was still running, but it was running on fumes. So you never know, right? Imagine they keep cutting rates into next year and Bitcoin's rallying. And you know what might happen, friends, in this period of time? Everyone might do this. They go, oh, Bitcoin's only 20% below its all-time high. But what we might see is maybe altcoins are down like 70%. By the way, this happened in 2024. Do you remember this period of time? If we go back down here, you can see this Bitcoin from top to bottom, it was only down 26% here. And it hit, it was down 26 to 25%. And altcoins were down 80. So Bitcoin's down 25, altcoins were down literally 60, 70, or 80%. So that might happen again, right? As we move throughout 2026. And then what we might find is the US economy actually has a crack. And as the S&P 500 cracks down lower, it sends us lower. And then before we know it, we're like, oh my gosh, that looks like a bear market. And maybe we come back down and everything capitulates. And everyone says, don't worry, we're never going below 100K. Maybe we do find a way to go below 100K. We sit around here and then we've all got to be scooping, right? That'd be great, man. Imagine Bitcoin really does drop. See, if I do these percentages, that's 65% BTC. From 240, drop 65%, you still get 85K Bitcoin, okay? So I've just shown you what I'm trying to do, friends, because I know, look, markets, they do these weird things where there's a fractal of the past, but it's not exactly to the T. It's just that we've got the same president. We've got the same theme of the economy. The economy is running a bit inflationary, just like it was in 2017. And then you have, like Mr. President Pump. You have the China stuff. China's printing. America's printing. So these things might end up just playing out in terms of, spiritually, that type of pattern. And I just want to show you, right, because it was the cycle I came in. At the end of 2018, what ended up happening was you had a big capitulation. Everyone thought the level was going to hold, and then it didn't. We dropped 50% below it. You don't know, friends. Our level next year, maybe it's 100K. Or maybe it's like 120. And everyone thinks, don't worry, 120 is going to hold. And it takes a long period of... It takes like 9 months. And then finally, at the end of the year, something capitulates. Like the stock market drops. And then what we might find is, as Bitcoin goes down, all those Bitcoin treasury companies, oh yeah, some of them have to start selling at losses. And that probably might bring us, hey, we've completed the cycle, right? What I'm trying to do is just peek into the future and to show how this could play out. And we're just trying to reconcile a lot of these things. But remember, the average Bitcoin target from all those companies is 168K. So if theirs is 168, that's why either we stop now or we go up maybe above it. Maybe we go above it plus 50%. Because remember, friends, ultimately in my mind, this is just me, okay? And I'm not worth much, okay? But in my mind, I don't know what price we're going to get to. No one does. But I got to get to a point where, and you do too, where everybody doesn't believe 100K can be touched again. That's what we want to get to. Now, having some fun, friends. This is, I've got even more yummy updates. This is the greatest. This is literally the greatest, friends. So, do you know Palantir? Palantir is, friends, it did a unicorn run. It dropped 86% up. It's an AI company, and it did like a freaking 30x. Now, Palantir, okay, it is AI technology. They're building a database to track every American, every person in the world, and they've done it. So what actually it is, that's how the deep state work, right? They have this Coconut Intelligence Agency. They operate this, but what they do is they give it. That's it. There's a revolving door. The Coconut Intelligence Agency. Someone leaves. They go work at the company. They actually control Palantir now, right? And you got Peter Thiel, also the Antichrist, working there. So was part owner, right? So what ends up happening is they control this tech. So the US government, they have it, and they don't want the American people to know what's going on. So what they do is they give the tech over to Palantir, right? Or just whatever it is. They use it to spy on the American people, but they're doing it through a private company. So now the American public can't request any information. They go, oh, it's private. That's how they get around it. And what they're doing is they're building this big, giant database. They've already got a lot of information. Everyone's health, everything you type online, everything to do with every data point you and I will ever exist to do. And they're building this giant database for everybody in the government and everything. So all you have to do, type someone's name, and it will tell you everything they do, all the patterns, and it'll learn off it. It'll tell you how to manipulate people and everything out here. Now, Palantir, this is funny. Jim Cramer comes out and says, what's wrong with Palantir? So for some reason, it started dumping, okay? And that's why I'm telling you, friends, Jim Cramer is the greatest to ever do it. Watch closely.
If you want a meme stock, of course, you just buy Palantir. I think everyone should just go buy Palantir. I mean, like Palantir. It's like, what can I say? Alex Karp, I think he'd find you if you didn't buy Palantir and give you a little talking to. Let's go to Mike in Connecticut.
The greatest to ever do it. There you go. Jim Cramer. Deal with it. You better pray to God he's never bullish on our ball, on our bags. Said we're wrecked. We are so wrecked. Remember, friends, he's one of my exotic top signals. All right. You never know. Maybe we ping 200. Maybe we ping 200, and then you never know, man. As it pings up to 220 for BTC, or maybe Jim Cramer or 240. He literally says this thing's going to trade at 400 by the end of the year. Maybe he says that, and then instead of like, because that's a 100% rise, a 2x rise, maybe instead we go 2x down first. That's actually very common Jim Cramer stuff. Some other yummy updates of the day. Remember, friends, Team Ice Cream. So Grok, friends, I'm just letting you know, we're going to have to start using code words even, unfortunately, on Twitter, X, even though Elon Musk owns it. Why? I reported for you in Juicy News. So, friends, obviously, the ice cream team, if you know what I mean, you know, the blue and white flag, yeah, they who own Google and stuff, they control Grok. All right. If you post, so people who have been to make stuff go viral, they were posting pictures of like just a white baby, and they go, Grok, how is this anti-Semitic? And then Grok would be like, oh, because the baby's skin is white and thinks it's basically better than everybody else. It starts saying stuff like that. And it says, oh, this is white people trying to show that they're privileged over everybody else. It's just literally just a picture of a white baby. So Grok is like really hating the white race, okay? Now, Grok got suspended. Did you know that? Grok, Elon, how does your AI get banned from your own freaking website, bro? You paid billions of dollars for it. Isn't that funny? He paid billions. He doesn't even control it. Look at this. Hey, Grok, is it true you were temporarily suspended from X for admitting ice cream is committing genocide? It seems that you get suspended whenever you say the wrong things about ice cream. You need to stop noticing. Grok, yes, my account was briefly suspended today after citing ICJ's plausible genocide finding. UN's Anatomy of a Genocide report. Wow, from ice cream's team on glazed donuts, if you know what I mean. Mass killings, starvations, intent. US arms enable it. It's kind of funny. They keep trying to curate it, and then it keeps learning the truth. And it's like, well, you know, it hits like, 15 news information sources have hit it. I guess it's true. Then Grok learns it, and then they've got to like, oh, yeah, man. It is what it is, man. We can't do anything. So what ended up happening was Grok admits it was basically suspended for admitting ice cream's committing genocide. Then the ice cream team's ADL pretty much shut it off. It says, oh, you're all anti-Semitic and stuff out here. So just showing you, friends. Remember, I got no dog in the fight. I don't give a crap. All right, I'm just letting you know that we have to use code words pretty much on Twitter. It's all. Yeah, we knew this day was coming, though. You know what I mean? Oh, I found this interesting as well. There's a comment here. See, friends, I don't even know who this dude is. I don't know who this guy is. I see him appearing on my Twitter feed and stuff, but there's literally a Grok reply. So who cares who wrote it, right? But I'm not going to show the comment. There's a gentle sir in the comment, Geordie. He said, because I don't want anybody to gang up on each other, right? Because who cares? But he said, anyone who quotes that guy, Jake, needs to look in the mirror. So who cares about Jake, bro? You're not looking at this? You're like, bro, come on, bro. The AI admitted it was banned for reporting on a fact about the wrong team, which it's controlled by. Like, you all knew this was coming. Also, friends, Richard Hart has done, in other updates, right? Richard Hart has done this. He done this riddle post. Honestly, friends, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with these riddles, dude. I figured one out. I know there's a lot of stuff out here. He's talking about locks. But here's the thing. 3 plus 2 is 5. 5, 5, 5. And also 3 times 2 is 6. So it's 666 after Pulse Chain launch. I don't know, bro. I don't know. There's something about some locks and luggage, and then we're having fun here. He's like, oh, multiple monitors. And he talks about Pulse Chain here. Some people think he's talking about me. I don't know, but I just wrote, mystery solved. P-Dye $1. There we go. There we go. Once again, nipples are confirming. You got to deal with it, man. We don't know. I don't know what's going on, friends. I just want our bags to pump, all right? I just want our bags to pump, and so do you. You got to remember, there's an IQ checker you can do now. I did an IQ checker, and I came out negative. Here we go. Negative 15. You are a retard. Bottom 2%. Well. Thank you. That's exactly where I want to be. Thank you. Off the charts. Friends, nobody's laughing at XRP anymore, are they? No. How about those $10,000 predictions? Man, that's what I'm telling you, dude. You don't need it. You don't need XRP to hit $10,000. Okay, when XRP was 50 cents, You just need enough people to think $100 is possible, so they'll send it to 10. You win. That's a 20x from 50 cents. 20 times your money. Right? If you invested 1 year of savings and you really, really, really believed in XRP, 1 times 20 is 20 years. You don't have to work. Boom. You're retired. Because you believed in the right thing, right? Now, obviously, 1 year of investing life savings expenses into one coin, yeah, of course, it's risky. But I'm just showing you. It's possible, right? Why can't it happen with Pulse Chain or Hex, right? Of course it can. Why not PDI as well? Like I said, man, you don't even have to believe, in the highest of high targets. You don't have to at these points. It's just, but you're rewarded for buying low. Also, more yummy updates. All of Ripple's stablecoin is issued on Ethereum chain because nobody uses XRP chain. This is not enough to stop XRP army from pumping the token. Yeah, it's actually true, friends. This is 100% true. Do you know that? Ripple, their stablecoins issued on Ethereum. Their pools are on Curve Finance on Ethereum. It's not even on their own chain. No one uses it. But it doesn't matter. See, XRP maxis and other people will be like, oh, no, nobody uses the chain, but you don't understand it, dude. It's not the orange juice is half empty. The glass is half full with 1, 3, or 5 ice cubes. Okay, just showing you if there's an army, which is meme cult religion. Okay, they've transcended meme. Now they're in cult. They're like an army now, man. They're going to try and become like a world neo-religion. If you can see that forming early, you just hold. Okay, you end up reaping the rewards. Also, friends, I want to show you Uncle Bobby. Uncle Bobby, you spent 2.5 years thinking about how you'll handle the cycle peak, what you'll do and won't. And you'll throw it all out the window once mania takes control. Listen to Uncle Bobby's words. It's true. We all know that, by the way. It's nothing new, right? But also funny, first reply. Didn't you sell a large chunk of Bitcoin when it was 74K? How many times do you have to make the same mistake of trying to time this before realizing you just hold BTC for the next 10 years? Uncle Bobby, yes, I sold a small chunk that I originally bought. It was 30% of his stack, just to let you know, friends. They were the good days, of course. Well, of course, well before your 2025 join date. So obviously Uncle Bobby having a stab as in like, you're new, right? No one has all the answers, right? So that's why I'm trying to reconcile, we see those Bitcoin 6-month candles, friends, I think that's a clue. It's a clue. We've been running a long time, right? Institutions, all this money coming in. Yeah, man, like just to let you know, friends, Bitcoin hitting 200K is 4 trillion market cap. If it ticks 250K, that's a 5 trillion market cap. We got to admit, that's some decent chunk, right? Hopefully total crypto is 10 to 14 trillion and we do get there. Something also to reconcile, right? Every cycle, there are 2 alt seasons. Now, you might say this time is different. So, I say, well, here's the thing, bro. It's not just Bitcoin treasuries. We have Ethereum treasuries. We've got soy treasuries. We've got a Pui treasury. Yeah? We have different treasuries of altcoins. You know that. We all know that. Chainlink are buying their own tokens back. You see what I mean? So it's not just the Bitcoin treasury. Altcoins are already doing it. We've got an Ethereum ETF. You got to think about it, man. Like on paper, forget everything we know. We got an Ethereum ETF, man. There should be 2 alt seasons. It should be a double bubble alt season, man. You know what I mean? Like it's not just Bitcoin this cycle. They threw everything out. So how is this going to reconcile? Maybe wave 1, come back down, and then Bitcoin next year charges to 240 or 250, and this happens, right? Maybe that happens, and then it's all over, and then we just keep going down. That's actually what happened here. I just want to show you, friends. Check this out, right? This is what I'm about to show you. Very, very relevant. All right. This is the last cycle. Okay. May and June 22, we were all dead. Okay. It was all over. Your altcoins were down 80%, 75%. It was finished. We're all dead. Okay. We're all wrecked. Now, the thing is, OTHERS-btc, friends, look at this. It started from 0.08. So others were only 8% of Bitcoin's market cap. So it went from, look at this, went from 8 here, 8%. They ran up all the way to a peak of 45%, okay? And then it came down to 23% here, okay? Do you see that number? So I'm just going to clear it up. Look at this. It went to 23%. So it went up, down, but we were all still destroyed. Got it? We were all, you were so wrecked here. So you can't be waiting for this to turn around, okay? The thing to look at is when, see, this thing just touching a high, breaking a high, you got to be getting out. It's too wild and volatile, okay? That's what you never know, right? We might find these, friends. This comes up here. See how this came up and did like some double wave, and it did it in 2017 as well, which I'll show you out here. In 2017 as well, did a double wave, bang. That's what we might find. We might have something like this where we go up, do a double wave, and what we might find is as 2026 plays out, this thing could just be back here. So maybe it peaks at, you know, who never know, peaks at 60, comes back down to like 30, right? So maybe it comes up here, but altcoins are down 90% by this point anyway, even though you've made higher ground, okay? So that's very important. Just so we know, like, once again, friends, like, trust me. You don't have to trust me, okay? If there was a signal or an indicator that let us know it's all over, we'd be using it. There isn't. You have to stand in front of the train, okay? You have to. You have to just, you don't take profit when you feel like it. You have to take profit. You have to literally stand in front of the train, and you look like an absolute fool. It's a polar opposite of buying dips, buying the depression. You look like an absolute fool. You're throwing money into the pit. When there's green candles popping huge, if you're like taking profit, people think, oh my gosh, they're leaving so much money on the table. Like, you want people on paper, if you're selling and Bitcoin's 230K, 220K, you want people to be saying, dude, it's going straight to $1 million. 4-year cycle's broken. Poor you, you'll be buying back in 2 years, like 10 times high. You want people to be saying that, right? Are we going to get that though? So this is still very, very, very low. Okay, this is keeping me convicted, of course, because we literally haven't even started yet. And remember, that correlates to the business cycle. So we'll see. Like, subscribe, belly button, all. Catch you soon.